Selection box series are back. Every single one of them are back until June 10th. This is a limited time, limited edition. We're going to look into what you should pay attention to.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
Now, what is a selection box anyway? It is reprinted popular cards in addition to a few new cards, but due to these being returning selection boxes, nothing here should be new. All packs guarantee an ultra rare or super rare card. Now, starting off with Selection Box Mini Volume 1. Now, in order to help guide us in these selection boxes, we're going to use two sources from the DLM website, the tier list and the gem guide, in addition to my own opinion on what has future potential. In case you don't know, the tier list is created by the Top Player Council on a weekly basis. These players have earned their spot by being the top performing players within DLM events, KC Cups, and World Champ qualifiers within 3-month seasons. So as we head into these selection boxes, the top tier decks are Blue Eyes, Neos, Kokamiru, Amazonas, Ancient Gears, and 6 Samurais. This is in addition to the gem guide helping guide us. The gem guide created by Superforms automatically updates itself based off the top decks page and the tier list. It will recommend decks, show us top staples, trending cards, and a full set breakdown of each set. Now with each box, I will first go through what is in a top tier deck. As far as top tier is concerned, Cosmic Cyclone is currently being used in Neos, Kokamiru, and 6 Samurais. Cosmic Cyclone is a great versatile card. Pay 1000 life, target a spell/trap on the field, banish it. As long as back row is relevant and nothing better is released, like maybe a mystical Space Typhoon, this will always be relevant, especially when you're going to have cards like Gear Town that activate when destroyed and you have Cosmic Cyclone banishing instead of destroying. And that is it from this mini box as far as what is used in a top tier deck. Now I will discuss my own opinions on some cards and what may have future potential or may be decent right now. Sanguine. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add a 1500 or less attack monster from your deck to your hand. You cannot use its effect this turn. This is great in Synchron decks. This has great future potential. I love Sanguine, even though it's not being used in a top tier deck. Hallucigenia. This card may be more relevant than Canadia at the moment since everyone has giant monsters on the field. Instead of flipping a monster face down like Canadia, it will reduce its attack and defense by half, and it's used in the damage step so they cannot respond with a card like Econ or a Sphere Karibo. Red Eye/Dragon. With the brand new Red Eye structure deck, you're going to need Red Eye/Dragon, very likely. Lila is great for any deck that mills, summon, put to defense, destroy a back row card, mills 3 cards in the end phase. Saphira, this has only been good with Cyber Angels. If Cyber Angels come back, this might come back. King of the Swamp, the ultimate fusion substitute card, has never become top tier yet. Maybe somewhere in the future it might become top tier, could search for polymerization and also be used as a fusion substitute. Forbidden Dress, this has seen some use in a U-Bell deck. You activate it on a monster, it loses 600 attack, but now that monster cannot be targeted nor destroyed by other card effects. Fire Fist Gorilla. If Fire Fist ever become relevant, I believe playing at least one Gorilla would be good. Offerings to the Doom, this has seen a whole lot of competitive use. It's currently not top tier, but last I remember it was top tier in Karakuri and Masked Heroes, so great future potential. The Dark Hexsealed Fusion, this is great for summoning a Red Eye/Dragon. How do you do so? It counts as a fusion substitute. You could normal summon it, and if there's another warrior on the field, you could activate its effect to make a Red Eye/Dragon. Gyoku, similar to Cosmic Cyclone, it locks down a face down card. They cannot respond to this card's activation with that specific card. This is great if you're using any deck that has a Beast Warrior. Even Kokamiru, we're using this to ensure an OTK with an Urn Knight plus another monster. Chalice is great for the flip effect monsters in the meta right now. If they put a Lava Golem on your side of the field, you could draw this, negate its effect, and then beat him down with the Lava Golem. I like Chalice. Wall of D. This card's coming back with the popularity of Neos. Wall D is so good against Neos because a lot of them are dropping down on the back row hate. Wall D is the perfect card to hit them. They lose a permanent 800 attack for each face-up attack position monster they have after declaring an attack. In fact, in the last Meta Weekly, which was May 8th, First place deck list used 3 Wall of Ds. This is your time to get the D. Now, I only planned on reviewing the ultra rare and super rare cards, but I could skim the rares and commons because I see a Bacon Saver. We all know Bacon Saver is great with Neos Fusion. This is your chance to get Bacon Saver. Bacon Saver, banish itself from the grave, negate and attack. Samurai Skull is great in Vampires. Vampires are on high potential right now from the tier list. On summon, send a zombie from your deck to the grave. Moving on to Selection Box Volume 1. Now, starting off with top tier cards from this box is Sphere Kuriboh. If you don't know this already, Sphere Kuriboh could be bought for $5. You also get 10 packs from the store. You get a Sphere mat, 10 of the latest packs. That's a pretty damn good deal for a Sphere Kuriboh. Sphere Kuriboh is a great card being used in Blue Eyes, Neos, and Kokamiru decks. A top staple. When your opponent declares an attack, discard this card from your hand, negate that attack by putting it into defense. And that is it for what cards are being used in current top tier decks. Now let's quickly skim for what's decent and has future potential. The Stylus is decent, discard a card, it's a Monarch, you tribute summon for it. Dark World Dealings, great if Dark Worlds ever become a viable top deck. Draw a card, discard a card, but your opponent gets to do so too. Hamstrat has been great for Obelisk decks. You flip it up, summon 2 tokens, tribute all 3. Senju and Sonic Bird are staples in a ritual deck. Love them. Brute Root in a recent MCS got top 32 using Senju and Sonic Bird in his Nephthys deck. Senju searches for a ritual monster, Sonic Bird searches for the ritual spell. Gazuki. Gazuki is definitely being used in Vampires right now, which is high potential. 3 are being used in 82% of Vampire decks right now that are King of Games and or tournament tops. A must-have for Vampires. Once per turn, sends a zombie from your deck to the graveyard. And if it's sent to the graveyard itself, it can banish a zombie to special summon a zombie from your hand. Soul Exchange. I have to talk about this even though no one's really using it. It does have future potential. You target a monster, you could use it as a tribute summon. You do skip your battle phase. I love this card for my Monarch deck of the TCG, even though Monarchs right now are not really using this. If ninjas were to ever come back, Ninjutsu Art of Transformation, choose hope. We just got Wiretap, which is better than 7 Tools of the Bandit. Negates a trap, shuffles it back in the deck. Mirror Wall is a pretty good generic back row card. Not good if Ancient Gear is popular. With the new Red Eye support, Red Eye Zombie Dragon might be a good add to your Red Eyes deck. Now, Double Cyclone is not good here, even though being used in Ancient Gears. Double Cyclone is a top tier card. I did not want to mention it though because it's included in the structure deck. Do not buy this for Double Cyclone. Go get the Ancient Gear structure deck. Super Rush Headlong used to be a top tier card, no longer is. You choose your monster, it's a quick play, then you choose an attribute, and then if your monster battles with the chosen attribute, it destroys that monster at the start of the damage step. This card could be great against Stardust Dragon as they can't even negate this if Stardust Dragon were to ever become relevant in the future. Hey, spellcasters with Magician Circle, if anyone attacks with a spellcaster, both you and your opponent could special summon a spellcaster with 2k attack or less from their deck. Zing Zen Zoo. In top tournaments, you will see this in the side deck. I do believe we saw some in the MCS and or recent Meta Weekly. You target 2 face down spell and traps in the field, and then after this resolves, those cards cannot be activated. This is a continuous trap. Wild Tornado, another card that has been reprinted in the Ancient Gear structure deck. Do not get this for it. Now for the rares and commons, Jowls might have some decent future potential. On flip, take control of your opponent's monster until the end phase. This is good for tributing or just using it to attack directly because that's what the monster can now do after you take control of it. The ninja cards will be good if they add more ninja support. Needlebug Nest is great for any deck that focuses on milling. The last successful deck I could think of with Needlebug Nest was Archfiends. You mill the top 5 cards of your deck. Beast Rising was a great card in Hazy back in the day. You banish a Beast Warrior you control, and then your other face-up Beast or Beast Warrior gains its attack. Ultimate Providence is good for negating a spell trap or monster effect. A great counter trap if counter traps ever become relevant. Magical Merchant on flip, you mill your deck until you add a spell/trap. This is great for extra cheesy decks. If you're missing Secret Pass for your farm decks, I guess you could pick it up here. Now on to the final selection box, volume 2. Let's quickly call out what is being used in a top tier deck. So far, if you've been paying attention, Cosmic Cyclone and Sphere Kribo are the only top tier cards. Now, after quickly looking, none of these cards are being used in a current top tier deck. Besides, if you count Hero Gaia and Nova Master being used in Neo stacks, some Neo stacks. Elemental Hero Gaia, on Fusion Summon, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, reduce its attack until the end phase, you gain that reduction. And it requires an Earth monster plus an Elemental Hero. This is great when used with your Sazank and your Neo stack. Nova Master, 2600, requires a Fire monster and Elemental Hero monster. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw a card. This is great with Lava Golem. If they put a Lava Golem on your side of the field, use a Miracle Fusion, or use your own Lava Golem within your graveyard. So moving on to the other cards now. Necro Valley, nothing has really come from this card. It really hasn't even been used in tournaments much. This is known as the most suppressive card, most popular card, most changed card in Yu-Gi-Oh, but has not done much in Duel Links. It pretty much says you and your opponent cannot do anything that pertains to the graveyard. You cannot move a card from the graveyard. You cannot change the type or attributes of cards in the graveyard. Cards in the graveyard cannot be banished. Now, this all, of course, is in addition to being a core card to Gravekeepers in the TCG. Will Gravekeepers be good in Duel Links ever? Maybe. If so, then this card will come forth. Nightbeam, similar to Cosmic Cyclone, has never really become as popular, though. It can only target a set spell / trap, cannot target a face-up. You target a set, your opponent cannot activate that card in response to this card's activation. Destroy that card. Anki, oh my Jesus. Anki and Mask Change. Both of these cards are great, and they might be hopping on the tier list again. Here's a quick little sneak peek. The last Meta Weekly, using the brand new skill Light and Darkness, he was using heroes with Mask Change. So maybe heroes are back, and this is your great opportunity to hop on the train. Quickly, what does Mask Change and Anki do? Mask Change, you target a Destiny Hero monster, and then you summon an Anki as long as that Destiny Hero is dark. And Anki, while on the field, if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you could search for another Mask Change to then summon another Anki to attack again, or it could choose to attack directly for half of its attack. A very powerful combo. Madrot, also with the new Light and Dark skill, you could shuffle in a dark monster to add a Madrot. I love Madrot. Madrot is great. Now quickly, what does Madrot do? Madrot, while on the field, you equip it with a Noble Arms card, then it gains the effect to summon a Noble Knight from your deck, and then destroy the Noble Arms card to re-equip it back onto Madrot or the newly summoned monster. This is a core card of Noble Knights. Look out for Madrot and also Dristan to be played in your Noble Knight deck. I do plan on releasing a few videos about these, so look forward to those. Dristan, real quick, if equipped with a Noble Arms card, destroy a face-up card in the field. Also, it protects your Noble Knight cards that are less than 1800 attack. They cannot be targeted nor attacked. So Madrot summon Dristan. Madrot cannot be targeted nor attacked. Ultra Athletes with the brand new Draw Sense change, Draw Sense low level. Maybe that might be a top tier way to play Ultra Athletes. Maybe they are back. Midfielder is the only low level of the deck. You could return this to your hand to summon any of the Ultra Athlete cards. Also, during either player's turn, you can return another Ultra Athlete to your hand to then summon an Ultra Athlete with a different name from your hand. So you can attack with it, then summon another one. Or if it's about to be destroyed on your opponent's turn, send it back to your hand to summon another one. Tricky has been used in some fun decks. You could discard a card to special summon this. Is level 5, can be used for Synchro Shokan. I have not really used it. Metamorphosed Queen, comboed with Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. I love both of these cards in my Inzektor deck. Basically, you use Cocoon on your insect equipped to the card to summon your Insect Queen. Insect Queen during each end phase summons an insect counter, and while there's another insect on the field, insect monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. It could also tribute a token to attack again in addition to its first attack at the end of the damage step, but it must be attacking into another monster. Taz of the Brethren. This has been a top tier card in Girjas. So you pay 2,000 life, target one of your Girjas, for example, your Girja Arsenal. You could then special summon a Girja Attacker and Girja Anchor from your deck onto the field. Then you could flip them down, and that is very, very powerful when it was top tier. Why did it work in Girja? You must target a level 4 or lower monster, and you must special summon 2 monsters with the same type, same attribute, same level, but different names from the monster you used your Ties of the Brethren on. So this has a lot of future potential if there are any decks that meet that criteria. Drowning Mirror Force. Even though this is not a top staple in top tier decks, just like Wall D was not, Drowning Mirror Force was still being used in top tier decks, or I should say being used by top tier players randomly. Drowning Mirror Force, if your opponent attacks directly, shuffle all of their attack position monsters back into the deck. Drowning Mirror Force, I like this card a lot. It's great when they don't expect it, but when they start expecting it, then it's no longer good. Salvage has some pretty decent future potential. I used this in Mermails back in the TCG. Add 2 waters with 1500 or less attack from your graveyard back to your hand. Great for discarding your waters and then adding them back to your hand. DDR has some nice future potential. Discard a card, special summon a banished monster. Good for some sacking, good for Gem Knights, pretty decent for Archfiends. Behemoth has proven to be a great level 6 synchro with Wielder and Tracker, which are the monsters that can be special summoned if you control a level 3 monster. You could easily make Behemoth, which after damage calculation, when this card battles, you could banish itself and the monster it battled with. Samsara, not much has come from this besides the junk synchro on what grows in the graveyard deck back in the day. That's right, I'm already saying back in the day with the synchro deck. Samsara, when destroyed by battle or card effect, you could target any monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it onto the field, but it has 100 attack, but 2600 defense. Scrap Archfiend, 2700 attack, level 7, great for any deck that can make a level 7. It's a big monster. Solid Soldier is good if heroes ever come back. Solid Soldier on summon, special summon a hero from your hand. Also, if you use Mass Change on it or Polymerization, you could special summon a hero from your graveyard. It's small, 1300. Spore is great future potential for plant decks, a plant type tuner. Banish a monster in the graveyard that's plant type to special summon this once per duel. It also gains the level of the monster that you banished, and it is a tuner. Spell Book Magician of Prophecy and Spell Book of Secrets. This deck might be making a comeback with the brand new Light and Darkness skill. How so? People are using Breaker the Magical Warrior to shuffle it back in the deck to add a Silent Magician. And Silent Magician is great in Spellbook decks, so maybe you want to pick up your Blue Boy and your book. Black Falcon has been kind of decent in Mecha Phantom Beast decks. On attack, you special summon a token, you contribute a token and change the battle position of a monster your opponent controls. Batteries, Microcell and Industrial Strength, both of them are core cards of a battery deck. The Industrial Strength is the boss monster. You could banish 2 batteries from your grave to summon it, then banish a Thunder to destroy a monster and a back row card on the field, and Microcell helps you do that. On flip, you special summon a battery from your deck, so that's pretty much it. You have your 2 batteries that could be sent to the grave afterward, then be used with your Industrial Strength. You also draw a card when it's destroyed by battle after being flipped. Mithra, we all know and love and hate this, or I should say love to hate this. Mithra is being used in Cancer decks that like to use Lava Golem. If your opponent is playing around your Lava Golem, you special summon a Mithra onto your side of the field, which then special summons a token on their side of the field, which then you could special summon a Lava Golem by tributing the newly summoned token that you added to their field plus their monster. Snowman Eater is great for water decks. What's great about the top decks page of the website is you could select current month, 7 days, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or select a season, and then you could search for any card like Snowman Eater to see what deck it's been used in. So here's an example of Snowman Eater being great in a water deck. It being water works well with the Citadel well. Snowman Eater on flip, destroy a face-up monster on the field, 1900 defense, very nice. Megalo Smasher was being used in top tier dinos. Dinos have quickly fallen off due to 6 Sam and Neos Fusion not really caring that you could destroy their cards because they got protection from destruction. So as soon as the meta is no longer protection from destruction, Megalo Smasher and Dinos will surely make a big comeback. Now, when mentioning Ultra Athletes, I should have also mentioned UA Stadium when paired up with a midfielder. This is a core card of your Ultra Athlete deck. Every time you summon an Ultra Athlete, you could search for an Ultra Athlete, and then also once per turn, if you special summon an Ultra Athlete, all of your monsters, everything, gain a permanent 500 attack. This card is great, but I don't see penalty box with the Ultra Athletes. That's another great card that I believe is a super and or ultra. Just to confirm, yes, it is a super rare card, and sadly sadly not in the box, as this works so well with the field spell. It even searches the field spell. So I'd have to say that Konami dropped the ball a bit right there. C, Stealth Attack. This is a core card of the C Stealth Attack deck that we were talking about with the Snowman Eater. It's a nearly unstoppable combo, and you have this plus an Umi field spell, which you could start with using Mako. If you have a level 5 or higher water on your side of the field, you destroy any monster that you go to battle with at the start of the damage step, even if it's face down. Also, any water monster could be banished to then be resummoned back in the end phase in order to protect this card from being destroyed, including your field spell. Crazy, crazy good card. Now, the final ultra rare, super rare card is Call of the Archfiend. This is a core card of Archfiends. If Archfiends ever make a comeback, if they were to make a comeback, I will quickly show you what's needed to make a comeback. So what's great about the search feature on duellinksmeta.com is you could type something like Archfiend, and at the top it will show you all cards that are currently released. So you want to find a card that's not released. So by searching Archfiend, it will look for the title of the card and or the text, and a Deal with the Dark Ruler is the last Archfiend related card there is. So from here down is all Archfiend cards that we do not have. So what would make Archfiend's top tier? I'm about to tell you. Maybe Archfiend Eris, Archfiend Lolly is the card that Archfiends need. So if we were to get this card, what does it do real quick? If sent to the graveyard because of a card effect or being destroyed by battle, you could add any Archfiend card from your deck to your hand except an Archfiend Eris. So this would be great for adding your Call the Archfiend or your Archfiend Emperor. Sadly, Archfiend Emperor is not included in this box though. Call the Archfiend, what does it do real quick? Discard a fiend to special summon a level 5 or higher fiend from your graveyard. Great for Archfiends. Wars is good for Noble Knights. These are all the ultra athletes that are good for that. This will be needed in the Batteryman deck. Yugioh Anchor is good with the Ties of the Brethren. We got the Spellbook cards, which are good for your spellbooks. We also have the Noble Arm cards for Noble Knights. Spike Shield with Chain. If you are jealous of all the shiters on the ladder using this with Amazon Swordswoman, good news, you too could join the Shite Club and play this card too. And that wraps it up. The proven top tier cards being used in top tier decks right now in current top tier decks have been Cosmic Cyclone from the Selection Volume 1 Mini, Sphere Karibo being used in Selection Box Volume 1, and Gaia and Nova Master being used from Selection Box Volume 2 for Neo stacks. Now, just because there are so few cards actually being used in top tier decks does not mean that all the other cards suck. There are a lot of great cards in all three of these boxes. We talked about every single one of them. A lot of future potential and a lot of cards that used to be top tier back in the day. You never know with Duel Links, the meta could shift with new decks, new cards become good, older cards become good again. So keep a lookout for that. Dkayed Brigade out.